So when I close my eyes and I sense into my body, whether I'm doing it here, standing like this, or in an asana, a yoga posture, I know that I'm activating, amongst other brain structures, my insula. The insula is kind of a deep brain structure. It's somewhere between the cerebral cortex and the limbic system, but not really either, and sort of part of both. This structure can be more difficult to comprehend than some of the others, but I think it's really worth it making the effort. So the insula processes sensory information in relationship to how we perceive our physical self. Sometimes it's actually called the interoceptive cortex. The interoception is the sense of sensation that we experience in the body. So this structure is involved in that, but importantly, it does more than the somatosensory cortex processing somatosensory information, in that it makes meaning around what it feels like to be in our body. The shape of our body, the movement of our body, the sense of our body. Very unfortunately, people with anorexia, for example, have really aberrant activity in the insular cortex as they perceive their physical body to be large when in fact they're emaciated. That might give you an understanding of how it works. Now, when the insula is large and robust, which seems to occur as a result of both mindfulness and yoga practice, our sense of our physical self is more congruent, and also, rather than just relying on the cognitive to make sense of things, we can allow our attention to seep into our body and feel into what works for us. We see that happens with yoga practitioners. They start going into visceral experience in order to make decisions, not just analytical. Now, one of the most important studies done on the insula in yoga was by Villemure in 2014. And what he found was that yoga practitioners could keep their fingers in cold water twice as long as non-yogis. Now, the yoga practitioners had larger insular cortices, and in addition to this, they interviewed them to understand why were they able to keep it longer. And what came out of this was yoga practitioners engaged in strategies that evoke parasympathetic activation, like they did slow breathing, but without even trying, because they learned through their asana practice with pranayama that allowed the tolerance of sensations. The other thing was that through the practice of being mindful in yoga, they learned that discomfort wasn't necessarily dangerous and could tolerate it with interest. So as we practice yoga, we gain those benefits. The ability to not push ourselves through pain. We definitely don't want that. But to tolerate things that might be a little bit uncomfortable, to allow for something else to arise by coming to our edge and transformation emerging. There's a lot of other interesting things about the insula, but I think we'll leave it at that for now. Close your eyes, feel your body, and just pay homage to it. Namaste.